Hey everybody, it's Grayson. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to do a reaction video to a Dave Ramsey clip where his team is going on about credit card rewards and basically saying that they're blood money. Now, the way that they're going to get there, we're going to see in this video, but I feel like I wanted to react to this because as somebody that was in $75,000 of debt, majority of that being credit cards, and then I paid them off, and now I use credit cards and enjoy the rewards, I don't follow this logic. So let's get into the video, and I am doing this at 1.5 speed on YouTube because some of their videos are like 7-8 minutes long, and we could speed that up a little bit by just watching it at 1.5. So if you guys are ready to learn about credit card rewards and the evil side of them, let's get into it.
Okay, so New York Times comes out in a couple days ago. The New York Times, the dirty little secret of credit card reward programs. Wow. Now, for years, I've been saying they work. They absolutely do work. And people always call us and like, oh, you telling me that you don't take free flights? And they for sure do. If you're just swiping the card, I got a buddy who puts 100% of his life on these cards. Everything on the card so that, and he pays off every month, and he just does it for the free miles or free whatever. Sure. That's a real thing that happens. Now, most people don't pay it off every month, and they're like, no, I was just going too broke, and they don't. But fair enough. There are people who do. And my buddies were always surprised that I didn't participate. And it wasn't me trying to take a moral high ground or anything like that. But I didn't want to participate in this program because I knew that these credit card companies are not my friend. They don't.
Now, real quick, I am also somebody now that uses credit card rewards. And even though I don't use credit cards specifically for rewards, I actually think they have slightly better protections, warranties for what you buy, stuff like that. And, money is not directly being pulled out of my account, especially if they get hacked. So I use them for every purchase that I make. Now, again, I have a budget. I know what I'm supposed to be spending on, and I focus on that. So if I'm going to be paying money for utilities, groceries, gas, all that kind of stuff, why not earn some rewards? I don't see a problem with it. I don't think it's an issue. And, again, I used to be in credit card debt, and people that were earning rewards off of my debt, I didn't blame them. I was the one that caused it. So I'm just going to play in the system now. I don't see an issue with it.
Don't like me. They're not hooking me up because I'm hooking them up. It's not like, yeah, bro, let's do this. We're in this together. I'll buy some stuff. You give me free flights. That's not how it works. Somebody is paying for my flights. And as I dug into it a few years ago, it appeared to me that the single mom with 3 kids who can't float the price of eggs and the increase in gas prices and the natural gas prices, she was paying for my flights because she was having to put this stuff on a credit card conceivably to survive. And so my free flights were being paid for by people who had way less and were struggling to make it. And turns out
your hunch
I was right.
Turned into studies and data.
That's incredible.
This is wild.
Okay, tell us about this.
Okay, so it goes on to talk about, hey, these swipes you're using to get first class airfare and trips and all your awards, it's not from nothing. The credit card perks for educated, usually urban pros, are subsidized by people who have less. So
okay, so it's no mystery that credit card companies earn money from people carrying balances. But they don't just earn money from that. It's probably the good majority of their money. I think in these studies, which they'll talk about, it's like about 60%, they earn most of their money from interest charges. Now again, credit card interest rates are like 20% or more. Of course, they're earning some bank, but they do charge merchants. I'm a business owner. I have to pay credit card swipe fees every time somebody uses a credit card, even if you're not swiping, even if I'm just processing, I do get charged a swipe fee. That's just part of doing business. This has been around for a long period of time. So a credit card company is going to make money. They're going to make money no matter what. Now, obviously they make more money when you don't pay off your bills, but that doesn't mean just because you can pay off your bills, you just shouldn't use a credit card. So I think where they're planning on going with this probably isn't the way to get there.
Poor consumers are ultimately footing the bill. And in 2022, a Federal Reserve data showed that the cost of rewards as a share of total transaction volume on these credit cards increased 25% from 2015 through 2021. And so what's interesting, John, is the data was so clear in this study. It showed that $15 billion in reward value moved from the poor to the rich, from the unsophisticated folks who...
So they do share that information, and that's about true. There's nothing, it's not really hidden. They put that out in their annual reports. They make money when people don't pay off their credit cards. And we have nearly $1 trillion in credit card debt. So credit card companies are rolling in the money.
Couldn't pay their bills on time, to the affluent wealthy. And normal people go, well, yeah, that's how the system is set up, John. So I'm just going to take advantage of that. Why would I not? But here's what's wild. A lot of the people that come at us going, I can't believe John's trying to use this moral angle to say that it's not coming from people who have less than, it's coming from swipe fees from the businesses and interchange fees and my annual fees. But I looked at Capital One's, they put their shareholder reports out every year. And in Q4 of 2022, it turns out that 2/3 of their credit card revenue came from interest and fees, not from the interchange, not from the other fees, interest. So
again, as business owners, we still pay swipe fees. It's around 2 or 3% depending on the card and how you process it. It's 2 or 3% of the transaction. Again, that's been relatively the same for a while. I've been in business for 10 years and I've paid between 2 and 3% for a long time. Do they increase? Yes, they do. Now, that's not causing the prices in the supermarkets and for groceries to increase. That's a whole different thing. So we can't blame that on credit card companies. Credit card companies aren't the one causing the increase in eggs and all that kind of stuff. That's just not true.
2/3 is blood diamond money.
Yeah. And let's also, it's also easy to get on a high horse and say, well, they're just making dumb purchases and they don't know. If you've ever spent some time with people on the margins, so many don't know, right? They haven't been told. They're just trying to claw their way out of the world that they found themselves in. And
that's a problem with our society in general. A lot of people just don't know. They've never been taught. They're not around people that understand money. And if you are not around people that understand money, you'll really never understand it because you have to get away from those people and break out of that cycle in order to learn about money. That's one of the big problems. And you will see that all over, is that even people that used to be poor, once they learned that they needed to be around other people that understood topics they wanted to know about, that's how their life changed. Again, I used to be in credit card debt. I was in a negative $200,000 net worth at one point in time because I made bad decisions. Again, I am one of those people. I wasn't poor, but I made really bad decisions. There's a lot of people that make bad decisions. Like, let's not tap dance around that. There are people that just make bad decisions. They don't know how to budget properly. They don't know how to manage their money. They don't know how to find other ways to increase their wealth and increase their income. So these things are keeping people poor. It's true. But you can't blame a credit card company for everyone's lack of knowledge. It's our society in general.
They don't know that it's not normal to roll fees over like this. They don't know that a 30% APR isn't just the price of doing life these days. And so I don't know how people can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm comfortable with a single mom trying to scratch through life with her buying my flights because they're free now. Like,
See, this is what irritates me. For some reason, because we can budget properly and we can manage our money, we're bad people. I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm glad this happened. Because here's the thing. I wasn't blaming anybody else for my issues when I was in debt. I didn't sit there and go, you know what, this credit card company is screwing me over. I signed the contract with them. I used the card they gave me. It was a tool that I used inappropriately, and I got in trouble for it. I played the game and I failed. I lost. But here's the thing. Just because there's a game going around, if you don't want to play it, it's okay not to play it. But don't go bashing other people that are playing in the game and they're winning and making them seem like they're bad people. Because that's just completely wrong. All you're doing is you're bashing other people that are actually playing the game. Because here's the thing about any game. It doesn't matter if you talk about financial life, real games, like professional sports. If you didn't like something about the sport you were playing and you decided to sit out, there's someone behind you that's going to take your spot immediately like that. And you're going to be gone. You standing up to something you don't like doesn't often change the game. It just gets you kicked out of it. Okay? You're playing within the confines of the current rules. That's just what it is. These are the current rules. If you don't want to use them to your advantage, don't use them to your advantage. But the one thing I've learned about growing wealth in the past 12 years since I started my journey from back to zero net worth is that you play in the game and you take advantage of the opportunities that come to you. Like, you don't just sit there and go, well, I don't like the game, and sit out. Okay, someone else is going to take it for you. It's as simple as that.
I just can't wrap my head around it, George.
Well, and the other problem is we're all paying for this. through the increased cost of goods. The United States has some of the highest credit card processing costs in the world, typically 2 to 2.25% on every purchase. And so the merchants, the businesses, the small businesses, they have to pass these costs on to the consumers by charging more for the products, regardless of how you pay.
And you see some of the local merchants that will say, here's the price for if you pay with the card. Here's the cash price. It's less. And George,
Now, that is the cost of doing business. That is 100% true. The thing is that these swipe fees have been this percentage for many years. It's not something brand new in the past, year or two. These swipe fees have been around that for a long time. I think about 10 or 15 years ago, I paid 1.7%, but then there's another, it's still there. It's just the cost of doing business. It's not increasing the price of our goods like inflation is. It's been baked in. It's baked into most merchants' pricing. Some will charge you less if you pay with cash, but that is actually quite rare nowadays. Very rare will they give you a different price for cash than they will for credit card. But again, this fee that has been charged to merchants, and I'm a business, I pay this, hasn't changed much over the years. If it has increased, you might see, 2.1% going up to 2.25%. It's really not moving the needle that much. It is for them, but it's not going to increase. Like, I'm not going to go change my prices for it because it's so minimal that it's kind of just the cost of doing business. Is it what's causing these massive increases in our goods and services? No, nowhere even near it. You can't even use that logic. It doesn't work it doesn't work mathematically. It's not the cause of it.
I'm sure it's happened to you more because you're out in the world more than I am.
That's right.
But I had my first exchange the other day where I was at a place, I was traveling at a speaking event, and I was out on the road, and they said, we don't take cash here.
Whoa.
And it was like, I'm not going to do business with you. Just on principle, I'm just not going to do business with you.
Wow.
Now, that's their prerogative. They don't want to do business with people that handle cash. Now there are businesses that just don't want to handle cash. It doesn't mean that it is a little bit more difficult for them. They have to then go deposit the cash at the bank. It opens them up for more robberies when they have cash on hand. Some places just don't want to accept cash.
Well, the data's clear here, John. Lower income consumers are forced to pay higher prices on the goods they buy, but they rarely receive any benefit from rewards programs, according to the Federal Reserve. And so it's been tracking all of this. And so to put it another way, they say credit card rewards are essentially a tax on less affluent consumers who are much more likely to pay for the goods with cash, debit cards, or standard credit products that accrue no such rewards. So, people have a lot of opinions about this, but across the aisle politically, I mean, NPR and Vox and New York Times, they're covering the same thing going, hey, this isn't innocent.
Yeah.
Someone is paying for this, and it's either the small business owner or the single mom, but you can't act like this is just an innocent, I'm just going to reap the rewards. Your free vacation came from somewhere, and we have to at least acknowledge that.
That's right.
Now, I will acknowledge it. Again, I played in that game. I lost it. Someone was reaping the benefits of that, but let's think about this for a minute. A credit card company or a bank, whoever is doing the credit cards, they are a for-profit business. Their whole goal is to make as much money as possible, getting as much profit as possible. Okay, if you wiped out all credit card rewards programs, which are points driven, cashback driven, stuff like that, the interest rates that they charge aren't going to go down. They aren't going to go down. It wouldn't happen. They're not going to go, oh, you know what? This is you guys don't need credit card rewards anymore. We're going to drop the rates by 2%, 3%, 4%. Not going to happen. The bank's just going to, and the credit card company's just going to keep all the rest of that. That is what capitalism is. That is what a company can do. Their whole business plan, especially if it's a public company, is to get as much money as possible and increase the share price for their investors. That's the game we play in. If you don't like the game, don't play in it. But don't blame other people for playing in it and potentially winning in it. Again, credit card rewards don't make you rich. Here's a good scenario. I have a credit card that I used to pay an annual fee on. I used to get 6% back on gas. Now, I don't drive a lot anymore, so I was like, this is not really necessary, but I still pay for gas. So I downgraded the card. I don't pay an annual fee, and now they give me 3% back for gas. Why can I not just enjoy the extra 3%? It's 3%. I'm going to be paying for gas anyway. My gas tank only holds so much gas. So I'm going to get 3% back. Now, that might not be a game changer, but why not take 3% from the bank and put it right back in my pocket? Why not? It's literally money that's right there sitting for you. You're taking advantage of an opportunity that's been given to you. welcome to the game. Enjoy it.
And and God bless you if you can sleep at night knowing that I pay my bills, I do my thing. So if your conscience can carry that weight, more power.
And even if you don't.
See, that right there is a comment that should have never been made. Because what you're doing is you're bad-mouthing people that use their credit cards responsibly and are literally just playing in the game that's given to them. They're following the rules. They're getting some cash back. They're getting some airline miles, stuff like that. And guess what? I get airline flights, but it's no mystery. You still are paying for those flights. Like, you're still paying for those flights. You have to use your card in order to get those points. Come on. Like, that's just craziness. You don't go badmouth a whole bunch of people that are following the rules and doing okay in it and not racking up debt and are just doing what the credit card company allows. You're going to say, oh, if you can sleep at night, more power to you. So you're saying I'm a bad person because I use credit cards? Well, as somebody that, again, used to be in debt and now isn't and uses credit cards as a tool to, just move forward, I'm going to have to disagree with you because I still sleep well at night outside of being a business owner and not sleeping that much. I don't have an issue with me using a credit card because I'm not cheating the system. I didn't create the system. I'm not going to be able to change this multi-trillion-dollar system. I'm just in the system and I'm playing it. Okay. I'll sleep well at night for that.
Don't have a conscience. Every single piece of data shows that you spend more when you use a credit card.
Right.
Every piece of data. So regardless, if you're saying, hey, I'm going to use my card for everything to get these rewards, the chances are you overspent to where the rewards were negligible. Right. You maybe got $1,000 in rewards. You spent more than $1,000 than you were if you were going to use a debit card.
Again, just look at the gas one that I just talked about. You're not going to go pay. You're not going to go get more gas because you're using a credit card. My gas tank only takes so much. Yes, there is a lot of data that says that you spend more. But again, if you are good with a budget and you know how much you're supposed to be spending, you don't technically have to spend more. That's just the way it is. If you are good with your money, which there are millions of people that are good with their money, you don't necessarily spend more. So why not get a little bit and enjoy it? I don't get it.
Card on a budget or using cash.
So here, to me, the cornerstone rule is opt out of the system. Just opt out, man. This is like Matrix style stuff, but just opt out of the system.
I haven't had a credit card in 10 years, and I can unequivocally say my life has been better for it.
No question.
Not once have I wondered, well, they've got 5% cash back on restaurants this month, so I'm going to switch the card. I was hanging out with some guys the other night, and they're all personal finance, influencer type guys, and they're all showing me their different cards, and this one's made of 3 inches of metal, and I get this much rewards. And I'm like, guys, you make millions of dollars. How much money do you get back in rewards? They were like, I probably get $2,000 worth of value. Mm-hmm. I went, so you're playing this game for $2,000 worth of value, and you make millions.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about this specific comment, and it's not about them getting $2,000 worth of value. It's them taking advantage of every opportunity that they can. They're millionaires for a reason. They've taken advantage of every opportunity they can. There's a whole system when you're trying to grow your wealth. You need to be consistent on both sides of the table, making more money and you're keeping more of your money. So they're multimillionaires for a reason. They are taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to them. And here is a comment that I want to make in regards to this specifically. Dave Ramsey's team is a big proponent of using high interest online savings accounts for your emergency fund. Well, guess how those are funded? You put your money in, but do you think they're just giving you 4% out of the goodness of their heart? Come on. Seriously? No. What they're doing is that they are taking the money that you have put in that savings and they are lending it out to someone else, either in the form of maybe credit cards, because they are, many banks do provide credit card products, personal loans, business loans, individual loans, mortgages, HELOCs, all this kind of stuff. They're all loan lending programs. And they're doing that at a higher rate than what they're paying you. That's basically how banks make most of their money. They also have overdraft fees. They get a ton of money with overdraft fees. So you're sitting here bashing on credit cards, yet banks do the exact same thing with savings accounts and give us a small amount back. Now, big banks are way worse because they do very small interest rate returns, like 0.1, and I think the average right now is 0.2%, where online banks are at like 4%, some upwards up to 4.3, and if the Fed increases rates again, they'll probably go up even more. So, but they're still making money because the money that they are bringing in is being lent out in other forms to other people. This is more debt. So you can't bash one product and not bash the other product. Hypocritical much? I think so. So what do you guys think about this? I know in the comments that they got bashed big time for this, saying even big followers of Dave Ramsey. Now again, Dave wasn't in this video, but big followers of Dave Ramsey, you're going to basically bash people that are working in the system and thriving on it because they're getting credit card rewards? Like, really? You guys really had to stretch that one out to get to that. But again, you tell people to get out of debt, but then go stick their money in a high interest savings account. You go tell them to go stick their money in the stock market. Well, guess how the stock market is actually built up? It's built off companies by making more and more and more and more money. Many of these credit card companies are big stocks in the stock market. So you can't have one and not have the other. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's kind of like, hey, this is the system we're given. Those that are financially responsible and take advantage of every opportunity that comes their way, no matter how big or small, are the ones that are going to win the game. If you don't want to play in it, that's fine. Sit out, but don't complain because others are getting ahead with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this type of video, it would be awesome if you liked and subscribed. Is a mandatory note. Would it be appreciated? It sure would. And I hope to see you next time on Wealth Bites.